I wasn't a huge drinker in terms of frequency. I could put it away because of just body mass and like sheer quantity when I decide to drink. So I'm not going to sit here and act like a saint. But like I said, I have wine now when I'm decide to have a day or something like that. But yeah, I mean, just how taxing it was. I was also wearing but I do wear a Whoop, and seeing like the difference in recovery between like hard liquor times and soft liquor or no liquor, it's completely different. Like I could still pull off a decent, 50-60% recovery on wine, whereas like hard liquor, you're looking at like a 20%.
Today on the show, we're joined by NBA journeyman Spencer Dinwiddie, 7 teams in 10 years, including 2 stints with the Brooklyn Nets. We talk about his life of insane discipline. It keeps him at the top of his game, from eating, sleeping, and even breathing, to his approach on training. Spencer talks about his 100-year outlook on life and his philosophy to match it. We touch on his superpower and how it keeps him in the game. And we dig into the hard stuff that every pro athlete has to deal with, from injuries to being traded. Lastly, he shares his favorite quote. So let's get into it.
Spencer, excited to have you here today. Thanks for coming. Thanks for having us to your house. How was the workout?
It was great. Mike G, I mean, I've been with him now going on 3 years. He's probably the reason I came back so quick from my ACL. So, I'm blessed to still be having that relationship, that bond, and going strong.
Was today hard or not hard? It looked hard to me.
Kind of a mix. I would say it's a little bit taxed because it was a little bit more explosive as we get closer to the season, but it wasn't any of the real, like, supremely hard workouts that we did early in the summer, like the 1x20s and some of the conditioning work and things that we do. We're really, really kind of in prep mode now.
Right. So you training every day of the year?
Pretty much. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I probably take maybe 2 days or so after season, maybe 3, because one day is always a travel day, obviously. You usually have your exit meetings and travel that one day. You may take a day to catch your breath, and then you train after that. And then during season, like I said, in the off season, every Sunday is off.
Okay.
So it's 6 days a week in the off season, and then during season, it's just 3 types of days: light practice, heavy practice, or game day. Yep. So during season, there is no off days.
Got you. If you're that disciplined about working out, you got to be crazy disciplined about how you're eating.
For sure. I pretty much eat, 7 things? Beef, lamb, rainbow trout, salmon, eggs, raw fruits, raw vegetables, water, coconut water. And I don't even drink liquor anymore, so my only vice is wine now.
Coffee?
Rarely.
Ooh.
Yeah.
How do you pick yourself up?
How do I pick myself up?
When you're sluggish. I couldn't live without coffee.
I tell myself to to do it, I guess.
Wake up.
No, I mean, I have coffee on occasion. I don't have anything. That's not like supremely breaking my diet, but it's definitely not an everyday thing.
Right.
The crux of my diet, though, in terms of liquids, would be water, coconut water, and wine.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so there's got to be some kind of sleep story behind this, right?
Sleep story?
Like, you must be sleeping, 10, 12 hours a day?
During season, yeah. During season, I sleep about 10 hours.
Wow.
Maybe even a little bit more. I'm a big nap guy, and I definitely get my 8 hours. In the off season, I actually sleep a little bit less. I think in part because of my son. He takes up like a lot of that nap time. Like, I might doze off on the couch for like 30 minutes, and then it's like, damn, let's build a Lego. And I'm like, damn.
There it goes.
There it goes.
It's gone today.
It's gone today. The nap's over today.
So do you have like a ritual around your sleep? Like the room's got to be cold, super dark, or you don't really care?
Some of that. Obviously, when you're traveling a lot, you have the hotels which have the blackout curtains, so it gets very dark. In my house out here, actually, it's, as you can see, it's a pretty light and airy house, so don't always get maximum darkness. But I wear the eye visors, and I'm getting into mouth taping too. That's very new though, so that's something I'm just now experimenting with this year. Cold for sure though. I need to be cold.
Yep.
And then I actually have a one of those PEMF mats as well, so I do that as well.
What's a habit right now that's paying off for you? What are your useful habit?
Useful habit? I would say a no-brainer one was just the fact that I cut out tequila for my 30th birthday. So, no, I mean, I'm gonna be honest, like, I was already eating pretty clean, but taking out hard liquor and pretty much all non-natural sugars, like that was a game changer. I feel like I've had my most productive summer yet. I mean, my body fat's the lowest that's been, but those are pretty like no-brainer keys, I would say. I think something that's special that maybe everybody doesn't have access to. I have a medical grade red light laser bed in the garage that I use before training sessions, boost stem cells and stuff like that. So that'd probably be a next level, like pro athlete exclusive type of thing. Whereas the diet stuff anybody could do.
Right. Well, how long ago was 30th birthday for tequila?
April. So we're going on 4 months now.
Has that been hard?
No. I mean, I wasn't well, let me not say I wasn't a huge drinker. I wasn't a huge drinker in terms of frequency. I could put it away because of just body mass and like sheer quantity when I decided to drink. So I'm not going to sit here and act like a saint. But like I said, I have wine now when I decide to have a day or something like that. But yeah, I mean, just how taxing it was. I was also wearing but I do wear a Whoop, and seeing like the difference in recovery between like hard liquor times and soft liquor or no liquor, it's completely different. Like I could still pull off a decent, 50-60% recovery on wine, whereas like hard liquor, you're looking at like a 20%.
That's amazing.
Oh yeah, no, it's great.
Wow. So you've got this crazy disciplined lifestyle, right? Which I'm sure is a big part of your success.
Yeah.
But I think it takes more than discipline, right, to play at the pro level. And I think all of us have like a superpower, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
What would you describe your superpower as?
Probably, I guess, pattern recognition and timing. I think in a lot of ways it's a key to the way that I play the game. Like if you look at how I play on offense and stuff like that, like, a lot of it comes down to timing and me reading defense and, just the predictive mechanism of things. So I would say that'd probably be my superpower.
And where'd it come from? Like just watching a lot of basketball growing up from a coach? Innate?
I would say the capacity for it was probably more natural than anything, and then it's targeted and focused into the basketball lane because of how much I play basketball. I mean, it's like it's funny because I actually see my son do it a little bit. Like we can hear a song like once, twice, maybe a third time, and we'll know it. Like it's very quick. You know what I'm saying? It just rings off in our heads like that. And I see him do it in mouth words and things like that. And he's 5. So I would say in that respect, it's just kind of natural. Because, some people hear songs all the time and can't pick up words or don't. And it's not to say that, if they tried, they couldn't do it. I'm not here saying I'm overly special or whatever, but it's just something that I know that happens. Like I can hear it in the background a couple different times and bang, like I just know it.
Yeah, some people pick up languages really well. Like some people see patterns.
Exactly.
I totally get that. Tell me about a story where that ability to figure out a pattern or frequency has paid off for you. Like, is there a specific time in your career where you can be like, that moment?
Oh man. I mean, it just happens a lot. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if I could pick a specific time. It's just you'll be playing the game and you'll be like, oh, this is coming. Mm-hmm. Like you just know that person, you know that player, you know the time score. That it's like you've seen the movie before, and so you just know.
Yeah. So I got a question for you. Everyone's advice to young people today is chase your passion, right? And I've thought about this. Would you say it's better to chase your passion or to do the thing that you're good at?
Yeah, man. Like that's the thing, bro. And sorry if I got too casual right there, but
we're just talking.
Yeah, I think I'm more realistic in the way that I view life than some people, and I think it's always hard when you ask some people to sit in this seat because they say, yeah, chase your passion, it worked for me, and it's like, bruh, I'm one of, basically none. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard to sell that to to kids. I mean, I think there's a age range for chasing passion, and then there's a time where you have to be realistic and you might have to pivot. You know what I'm saying? Like, would I ever tell somebody, let's say 16 and under, not to shoot for the moon, not to really try? No. That's your time. Make your mistakes, try. You know what I'm saying? But as you start to get to that graduating high school range, like, if it ain't gonna happen, it ain't gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? Like now the clock's ticking. So now I'd say from like 16 to 21, you got to start being a little more realistic, right? And then at 21, bro, if you got to pivot, you got to pivot. You know what I'm saying? And so now you really need to start like that 5-year period is where you can say like, all right, I'm going to really see if this passion may work out, but I also got to figure out what I'm good at. And by 21, you got to know either my passion worked out or I'm going to what I'm good at. That's how I would kind of break down the years. And so how you fit in there and you slot in there is the advice I'd give you. You know what I'm saying? If you're 12 years old, listen, chase your passion, make your mistakes. Like, why not? Like, why limit yourself? You know what I'm saying? But if you're 20 years old, you know what I mean? All right, look, boss, it might be time to start looking at things a little different. You know what I'm saying? Because nobody wants to be 27, 28. Again, please don't kill me, but like broke, not knowing what they're going to do, no idea what they're good at, their passion's out of reach. Because now that starts to be real, like, emotionally taxing, real depression style taxing. Like, whereas if you know you're good at something at 26, 20, 25, whatever, even if you're broke and your passion isn't quite working out, I can still go over there and make something happen. And then maybe at 35, I can circle back and try this passion thing. You know what I'm saying? But at least I have this utility, this option. You know what I'm saying? But if you just so hell-bent on passion and we sell these dreams to people and we tell them, you know what I'm saying, like, passion, and they end up 35, now they way past that threshold. Passion still ain't worked out, still broke, still don't know what's going on. And now you kind of cooked for real.
That's right. And it's unlikely if your passion is climbing rock, that's going to pay the rent.
There you go.
It's feed you on vacation.
There you go.
You know?
Man.
And if your passion is playing basketball, but you can't hit a three, good luck.
There you go. You know what I'm saying? No argument for me.
I mean, who's passionate about being an accountant? Not to bust accounts, but like, bunch of numbers.
Very few.
But you can be good at it.
You can be phenomenal at it.
And make an amazing career out of it.
Phenomenal. You know what I'm saying? And there's something to be said about the diligence and the discipline to do something that's not necessarily your favorite, to be the best you can be, even if it's not just for you, but for your family. Like, you think I only eat 8 things because, like, it's fun? No, I love waffles. Camera, zoom in, please. I love, like, this is really, really here. There are 2 things in this world that I love food-wise. There's a breakfast dessert I love, and there's a dinner dessert. I love waffles, and I love peach cobbler. I may have those things once every couple months. Once a month, once every couple months. Because I'm here. I'm trying to play as long as possible. I'm trying to live as long as possible. I'm trying to, put on for my family, make sure that I represent the Dinwiddie name right. And I understand if I eat waffles every day, it makes that job harder.
But I gotta know, what's your topping? What's your topping on a waffle?
Oh no, I'm straight up with it. I like butter, syrup. Oh, but like real syrup. Hey man, listen, I hit Roscoe's in a second, boy.
Load up.
But that's real life. You know what I'm saying? So, and to me, it's the same thing between the passion and the maybe the natural talent. You know what I'm saying? You might be naturally talented at numbers and could be the greatest accountant in the world, but you tell me that you want to be a rapper. You say, hey man, you might be better off making a couple $100,000 being an accountant and then trying to double back and being a rapper. And maybe you rap about being a former accountant and people like you because you say something that's authentic. You know what I'm saying? Versus like rapping about being in the hood when you're not in the hood.
That's right. Well, I bet people look at you and they say, oh, Spencer's so lucky he gets to chase his passion. But they don't know that you're waking up at 5 a.m., that you eat 7 things, that you can't drink tequila. So you might enjoy basketball, but it's work.
Sacrifice.
That's right.
Everything. Look, every job has its ups and downs. Every job has its pros and cons. If you're going to be great at anything, you're going to sacrifice. There's only so many people in the world that are supremely naturally gifted that can roll out of bed and be great. You know what I'm saying? That's something. And even those people tend to have shorter careers. Like, you may think that a LeBron or a Giannis or whatever, like, rolled out of bed and, you know what I'm saying, can do what they do to a degree, yeah, but the reason they've been great now for 10, 12, 20 years, right, is because they had that level of discipline to whatever their routine is, to whatever their workout schedule is for years and years, decades, you know what I'm saying? And the only reason somebody like me, 140th player in my high school class, not a McDonald's All-American, you know what I'm saying, and with this gradual rise can be in the league for 10 and probably 15 plus years, you know what I'm saying, after my next deal, is because of that discipline. Like, if I was partying all the time or drinking tequila all the time and eating waffles and peach cobbler all the time, I wouldn't have been in the league for 10 years, and I wouldn't be getting ready to be in the league for 15 plus.
So I think you're making a point that I want to just hammer home, and tell me if I'm saying it wrong. Mm-hmm. But what I'm hearing you say is that your discipline makes you reject short-term gain for long-term gain.
Exactly. I mean, and I think, everybody's going to get hit with something hard. Everybody's going to have to struggle. It's just when you choose to have your struggle. And, it was something that was reinforced in me by my parents, and I wanted my struggle early. So I worked out all the time when I was a kid. Obviously, I've refined certain life habits as I got older, like diet and stuff. Obviously, when I was a kid, I ate McDonald's and stuff, so I wasn't perfect then. Don't get it twisted. I was also broke too, but that's another story. But I worked out all the time. I played basketball all the time. That's what I was focused on. You know what I'm saying? I sacrificed social life, having fun, or having what people would think is fun. Now, obviously, I sacrifice food. I sacrifice, time, etc. Like, you're going to go through your hard, but the goal is that, sometime around 30, 5, 7, whatever, to 110, that's my easy. You know what I'm saying?
So that's what's driving you? That's your long-term objective? Like, I'm doing what I do today.
Oh, of course.
So the second half of my life, I'm going to be okay?
Oh, the last 2/3, hopefully. You know what I'm saying? I got, if you looked at it in stages of 35, the first 35 is hard. 35 to 70 easy, 70 to 100 hopefully super easy, right? And obviously they're filled with different things in there, like, being a dad, representing your family name, things of that nature, for sure. But the whole goal is to set up so that, you can maximize that time period of life. You know what I'm saying? I sacrificed most of this first, well, I'm only 30, but this first 30, and will continue to sacrifice for the next however long I'm in the NBA.
Because you have 100-year outlook.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
100-year outlook.
And so waking up at 5 in the morning, eating 7 foods, not having coffee, which I don't understand, is worth it.
Yeah.
To make it to the 100-year outlook.
There it is. And at 100, I want to be able to walk up and down this hill and be relatively active. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be, in bed rest. And that's another reason I eat the way I do. You know what I'm saying? It's a 100-year outlook in all forms and facets. You know what I'm saying? From the standpoint of, I want my knees to work. You know what I'm saying? I've already been injured a couple of times. Part of the reason I work out beyond just the NBA. You know what I'm saying? I eat the way that I do because I want my cells to thrive and be able to, replicate and not struggle with, insulin spikes and all those things. Like, that's what it is.
So this life of sacrifice, because that's really what it is.
Yeah.
People just see the buzzer beater, they see the fast car, but it's a life of sacrifice.
1,000%.
And discipline.
Yeah.
What's the hardest part of that life?
It's actually a very personal question. It's lonely. That's the only way to really describe it. Because the only people that really know what you're going through are the same ones you're fighting against. And so there's a professional courtesy, but you can ask people in the league, like, unless you really grew up with them, you probably ain't like super close friends. You know what I'm saying? Or else you were on a team for a really long period of time, you're probably not super close friends. So the people that really understand everything are the same ones you're fighting against. And so those bonds end up being kind of temporary because your teammates now, you may get traded to your teammates now, but then you may do this or that. And as much as your family loves you and can have your back, they're not going to really get it. You know what I'm saying? They have a vested interest in, you know, what you're producing as well.
Yep.
So you feel the weight of carrying people. And you feel that a lot younger than when most people do. You know what I'm saying? Like a normal person might have a kid at like, you know, 30 years old. And so they're thinking about maybe they carry that kid, right? And not obviously carry, but like, you know, they're like, oh, okay, like I gotta make sure that kid eats. Like, you know, we start feeling that burden of carrying people, growing people at 20, you know? And people look at you different. So you got to be a leader of men while also being a follower of your parents. You gotta play this back and forth. Like, okay, I'm the kid and I'm respectful, but I'm the leader when I'm called upon. But I have to go back to this role. You know what I'm saying? You go back and forth all the time to maintain healthy dynamics and not bruise any egos within the people that you love the most.
Yeah. And I think the way our culture works is that when we put people on a pedestal and they're known, everybody wants something from them.
For sure.
And so your life is full of people saying, can I, will you, I need.
All the time.
That's exhausting.
Yeah. That's why I like my naps. I got saying with my boys, I tell them when something bad happens, I'll be like, hey man, I'm just gonna take a nap. I'll figure it out when I wake up.
There you go.
He laughing right now. He in the back.
Yeah.
Turn the camera. He's smiling right now because we done got hit with some heavy stuff before, and I was just like, yeah, I'm just gonna take a nap. It'll be all right when I get up.
Well, how often do you wake up and there's a solution? It happens to all of us, right?
It ring off. I'll dream about it or something, and solution will hit me, and I'll be like, hey, bro, give me an hour. We'll be all right. It's gonna happen. We're not running from it. We're gonna figure it out. But I'm not gonna panic right now. So let me take my nap, and I get to it.
Yep.
So
panic never solves anything.
Ever.
And people think that's the right reaction. I think going to bed's the best reaction.
Hey man, look, people, I think you panic when you're not prepared. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it doesn't mean that you're always supremely confident. Like, you can be a little worried. You can understand there's uncertainty, new experience, have a little anxiety to it, or like I said, again, uncertainty. But I think full-blown panic happens when you're not prepared. And so for me, I feel like if I have this insane amount of discipline and I feel like I've insulated parts of the life to be able to weather a hurricane, right?
Last night?
LA
hurricane.
LA hurricane. Then we're built to figure it out. And this is, you know, I talked about some of the hardships of family dynamics, but this is also where I'll praise my family. I think the people that are closest to me are pretty strong people. You know what I'm saying? I think we all built to withstand things, and as long as there's some level of communication, sometimes there's not. You know what I'm saying? As with any family, but as long as there's some level of communication, we got a chance at getting through whatever it is.
So who fills up your bucket? It's lonely. You're stressed out. You're not panicking.
Who fills up
your bucket?
Oh man, I tell everybody, and if he was up right now, I'd have him come down here and I'd ask him the question. Maybe if he wakes up and peeks his head down, I'll ask him live whenever. But I ask him, I say, what's my favorite part of the day? And he'll come up and be like, Elijah Lovin, and he gives me a big hug. So that's where my bucket's filled for real.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. And you know, this is my second time at your house, and you got the same two guys that are like, I feel like you got a good network of really good friends.
Yeah. I got, you know, two of my best friends stay here with me in the off season. Met them both in college, and I got two that go back to me, go back to high school with me. You know what I'm saying? So pretty much 4 friends. That's what I roll around with all the time. I'm blessed to have known them for more than 10 years. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people can't say that. Other than that, though, I mean, my son, and obviously my family as a whole. So
when you're in New York, during the season, are those people out there with you, or are you just truly alone?
This season's gonna be a little different because I'm on an expiring contract, so we'll see. I'll probably be out there solo this year. Usually though, my son's mom will stay with me. Like when I was in Dallas last year, they were there. Yeah. So usually it's those two. My boys go wherever they want to go during the season.
Yeah. All right, I got one for you.
Mm-hmm.
Optimist, pessimist, or realist? Where do you fall?
Oh no, I say realist. Realist with a hint of optimism. Just
Explain this.
Just a little hint. I just feel like I can't bullshit you. Like I'm gonna tell you what I really think. And to some people in today's society, because I feel like we wild soft. It sounds like pessimism, but it's really not. I'm just gonna try to shoot you straight. But like, I'm gonna try to be cognizant of whatever like your emotional state is, what your dreams are, and try to give you the advice path outlook that shades towards those things. You know what I'm saying? I'm not here to just crush somebody though. So definitely not pessimistic, but I'm also not gonna blow smoke. So that's what I say is realism.
I think that this internal attitude, optimist, pessimist, realist, it helps us navigate our life.
Yeah.
And so this realist with a shade of optimism that you're talking about, like tell me a story where you think that your approach to that problem helped you, right? By you didn't think it was going to be like this wonderful outcome. You didn't think it was going to be a terrible outcome, but tell me about like you approached a certain problem in your life and it was able to help you navigate. Does something come to mind?
Oh, I would say my most recent ACL recovery. You know what I mean? Like I knew because I was about to be a free agent, I knew I had lost money. I wasn't sitting there thinking I was going to get all of it back, but I knew that putting my best foot forward and just stacking good days gave me a chance to end up in a good position. And so I was very realistic about it. I didn't think I was going to make it all back. I wasn't pessimistic. I wasn't crying and, wallowing in self-pity. It was just stack good days. And by the time we get to free agency, we'll see where the chips fall. And either we'll have one of two solid decisions. Either we'll get a one-year prove-it deal, you know what I'm saying, which is probably low money, but I just got to go there, play, and maximize that. Or we'll have a team that believes in us because we had the fastest basketball ACL recovery in history. I ended up getting that path with the Washington Wizards, which, you know what I'm saying, I was thankful for. But yeah, it was just about that. You know what I'm saying? I knew I had two solid options you know what I'm saying, with the light at the end of the tunnel. I knew there was one that I would prefer, which would obviously be the team believed in me, which, like I said, DC did at the time. But it was just about stacking those days. I knew what the long-term possibility was, which both were optimistic. I didn't even entertain self-pity. I'll never come back. It's over. Blah, blah. We don't entertain none of that. That's over there. I knew the two positive outlooks, right? I wasn't supremely optimistic and thinking like, oh, I'm going to make $500 million off of ACL. No, we're going to put that over there. But now that we have this kind of realistic but optimistic lens out there, now it's about putting our head down and just being very pragmatic about every day. Not optimistic or pessimistic, but just stacking the day. Today we are doing this. Today we have a Mike G workout. Today we have treatment. Today we have this. And we are going to maximize that day, understanding that if we just focus on that 24 hours, we'll get to that goal. We work backwards, and now we just focused and locked in on the day.
So bite-sized chunks, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do you eat an elephant one bite at a time?
There you go.
Let's just get through the day.
Yeah.
Because, I think about the life of a pro athlete. There are injuries. There are trades.
Yeah.
And the pessimist might say, oh, my body sucks or no one values me. And the optimist might, just crumble.
Yeah.
But I think the realist.
There you go. And that's what I said. Shade optimism. Like you need a light. You need a carrot. You need something that keeps you going. You know what I'm saying? But once you can kind of put that billboard on the wall and you have a clear direction, now it's about the bite-sized chunk. You know what I'm saying? Once you clearly identify the elephant, like let's say there's 100 elephants, you got to pick your elephant. But now that you know which elephant you're getting, okay, now it's about the bite-sized chunks till you finish. And that's how I approach it.
So when you do have an injury,
Mhm.
when you do get traded, when something doesn't go your way, you're falling back on this idea of like, hey, I'm taking that elephant down. I don't care how long it takes.
There it is. There it is.
And that's the outlet.
No other way to look at it.
And I want to do what it takes. Eat, sleep, train.
Everything.
That's all you care about is the elephant.
I need 10 hours of sleep. Well, we're going to get 10 hours of sleep. I need to change my diet. We're going to do that. I need to work out 2, 3, 4 times a day. We're going to do that.
Yeah. So what was it? Give me a highlight on that journey of eating the elephant. Like, tell me about a time where like, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so much closer to achieving that goal than I was just a month ago.
I would say it was probably about like the 3.5, maybe 4-month mark or so when I stopped having any swelling in my knee. It was like 3, I think it was like 3.5. I started running, and at the same time, didn't have any swelling in my knee, and it was like, oh, we might got action. You know what I'm saying? Because the first like month, 2 months, like you're still getting some swelling, you still got some fluid in there, all this stuff, and so it's a slow build, it's a slow boil, right? But then when you start kind of running, and like there's no more fluid, you're like, all right, okay,
It's on.
all right, we might got action now.
I love it. Oh, I'm going to wrap it. We got a couple quick questions for you. You got a favorite quote?
Favorite quote? Actually,
One best piece of advice, either one.
nah, be water.
Be water.
Yeah, Bruce Lee quote. Be water. Just thinking about the flexibility, adaptability of water. It can flow, it can crash. You know, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people have heard the quote, but
It's McCaffrey's favorite quote, too.
oh really?
Yeah.
Hey man, tell me to get my book.
What's the best part of life right now?
That's part of life. Being a dad,
Being a dad. 5-year-old son.
5-year-old son.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Worst part?
Worst part? Shoot, I done been traded a lot. That sucks.
I bet. Love talking to you, Spencer.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
No problem.
We'll see you soon.
Thank you for having me.